So this week's sources brought up a product that I think we've all seen pop up on our feeds, the Helion Heater. Welcome to the deep dive.
Hey there.
Today, we're not just, looking at a gadget. We're diving into what feels like a classic case study in modern e-commerce.
Oh, absolutely. It's all about that gap between the big, shiny marketing claims and the actual reality of what you get.
Exactly.
And our mission here is really just marketing claim analysis. It's about consumer transparency, giving you the context.
Right.
And as always, just to be clear, this is all educational commentary. It's not medical or health advice or anything like that.
Of course.
But we are definitely going to talk about why this thing probably won't be solving your whole room temperature problem.
Yeah, let's get into it. The source material we're using, this really solid independent YouTube review, it just laid everything bare.
Yeah.
So let's unpack this masterclass in marketing over matter.
Okay, so where do we start? The pitch.
The pitch is incredible. The Helion Heater is sold as a groundbreaking Swedish invention. It's an advanced rapid warming device with cutting-edge tech. And the promise is that it'll instantly warm your whole room and slash energy bills.
They're really selling this idea of premium European engineering, as the solution to high utility costs.
But what's so fascinating is how quickly that independent testing just punctures that bubble.
Yeah, it really does. The review revealed that this device is, well, it's a standard, small, plug-in ceramic heater.
So nothing revolutionary.
Not at all. Functionally, it's basically identical to these generic units you can find everywhere, often for like a fraction of the price, just without the fancy Swedish branding.
And that really explains the performance limitations, doesn't it?
It does. I mean, a ceramic heater like this, it primarily heats the air that's right there, immediately surrounding it.
So it does work. It emits warm air.
Oh yeah, it's a heater. It gets warm. But the testing found that this effect is limited to a really tight, very localized area around the device.
So no heating up the living room.
No, it just doesn't have the power, the fan or radiant element for the kind of convection you'd need to actually heat a medium or a large room.
Okay, so if the performance falls short, that takes us right to the credibility of their marketing.
Exactly. Since its range is so limited, the claims about it slashing your energy bills by, say, replacing your central heating, they're just inherently exaggerated.
And that brings up a really important question for you, the consumer.
Right. How do we evaluate value when a product relies so heavily on these aggressive tactics?
I think that's the real deep dive here. The review points out the flashy marketing, the fake endorsement timers, the exaggerated claims. It's all there to push urgency.
That scarcity trigger, that feeling that you have to buy it now before the price goes up or the stock runs out.
Yeah, it's a psychological hook. It's meant to stop you from, thinking too critically.
And that ties right into another problem the review mentioned, product fulfillment. A lot of these turn out to be what we call drop ship versions.
Which means
It means the brand selling it doesn't actually have the product. They're just slapping their brand on a generic device and shipping it straight from the manufacturer.
and that can lead to problems.
Big ones. Long shipping delays, basically zero quality control, and good luck trying to return it.
But hold on. If you're just, say, working at a desk and your feet are cold, localized heat is actually exactly what you need, isn't it?
That's a crucial distinction. Yes.
So is the product itself bad, or is it just that the marketing overpromises?
It's the marketing. The product itself delivers that limited localized heat. It's perfectly fine as a small personal heater, maybe for under your desk.
Okay.
The problem isn't the function, it's the price. You're paying this huge premium for the marketing story, the Swedish invention fantasy, when you could buy the same generic thing for so much less.
So what's the big takeaway here for the listener?
I think if a product is pitched as cutting edge, but it's likely identical to tons of generic versions, you have to focus on its actual limited utility.
Like warming your feet under a desk.
Exactly. That's essential for managing your expectations and, spending your money wisely.
The bigger lesson here seems to be about the power of doing a little bit of independent research.
I think that's the final thought. The real deep dive is just remembering that if a groundbreaking invention requires you to go hunting for a YouTube review to figure out what it actually does, well, you've probably already found your answer. You have to look past the timers and the fancy branding.